for the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord.
The lowly tarnished, playing as a lord, I command thee, kneel!
Welcome back to Double Back for Ammo and another Elden Ring early game build guide. In today's video, we are not building a character as much as we are building a tank. The playstyle of this build is to block every attack with a shield and then guard counter with a heavy weapon. Guard counters are triggered by pressing the strong attack button immediately after blocking an enemy strike. Guard counters do the same HP reduction and poise damage to an enemy as a fully charged strong attack, but instantaneously. The key to the success of the build is the Barricade Shield Ash of War. This skill costs 12 FP and reduces the stamina costs of blocking attacks by half for 10 seconds. By spamming Barricade Shield during every fight, we get more opportunities to guard counter using another item that is key to this build, the Golden Halberd. This is a weapon dropped by the Tree Sentinel located near the very start of the game. The default Ash of War on this weapon is Golden Vow, which costs 40 FP, raises all damage by 11%, and damage negation by 7% for 45 seconds. Most builds require finding the Golden Vow Ash of War or incantation, so this build is already more efficient. Here's how to assemble the build. Start as a Vagabond to get the heavy equipment loadout and choose the Golden Seed as a keepsake. Unequip the longsword. You will still be at a heavy load wearing the Vagabond armor, the halberd, and the heater shield, so prioritize shield blocking over fat rolling. Exit the Chapel of Anticipation. Move toward the Statue of Marika until the Grafted Scion appears, then jump off a cliff. Assign the flasks of Crimson Tears and Cerulean Tears to the shortcuts in your pouch. Exit the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave and activate the First Step Site of Grace. The Tree Sentinel is directly ahead, carrying the Golden Halberd. We will build our tank and then come back to claim our rightful weapon. Go to the Church of Ella, collect the items, and activate the Site of Grace. Run through the woods to the north, avoiding the Godric soldiers. Run to the left of the Gatefront ruins, activate the Gatefront Site of Grace, and rest. Strike an accord with Melina to get the Spectral Steed Whistle. Map this item to your pouch shortcuts as well. Ride through the Gatefront ruins and pick up the map on the left. Then hop off Torrent, fly over the low wall, and run down to the cellar to get the Ash of War Storm Stomp and the Whetstone Knife. Ride out of the cellar on Torrent, head east, and activate the next Site of Grace. While it's still night, fast travel back to the Church of Ella to get the Spirit Calling Bell and the Lone Wolf Ashes. Pass time until morning and then fast travel to the Gatefront Site of Grace. Ride up the hill and collect the Golden Seed next to the glowing tree at the top. From there, ride northeast to find a corpse holding 3 smithing stone 1s, and then continue northeast to find a graveyard full of runes. Watch out for the exploding enemies. Ride east and drop off the ledge. Tap the nearest troll to aggro him and lead him over to the glowing saint statue. When he breaks it, collect the smithing stones and then ride northwest to this low part in the ridge. Activate the Site of Grace and rest if needed to reset any trolls in pursuit. Enter the War Master's shack. Consume 800 in golden runes. Then speak to Bernal and purchase the Ash of War Cry. Rest at the Site of Grace and apply this skill to your halberd with the heavy affinity. Ride northwest from there and follow the road to the Stormhill shack. Activate the Site of Grace and collect the Stone Sword key. Talk to Roderica a few times to start her quest. Ride northeast from the shack and up the hill to find a troll guarding a small bowl on the ground which holds the Strength Knot crystal tier. Over the cliff directly behind the tier, you can use some tombstones to drop down and escape from the troll. Fast travel back to the Agheel Lake North Site of Grace and ride southeast along the road.
Oi! You there!
Ignore that guy. Cross the Murkwater Bridge, collect the Smithing Stone 1 on the right. Pass the bridge, go to the right and collect the Somber Smithing Stone 1 from the corpse in the chair. Ride east, then southwest to collect a gold pickled fowl foot. Then ride around the Waypoint Ruins and continue south to a graveyard full of golden runes. Turn around, head north, and follow the road to the Mistwood outskirts Site of Grace. Ride northeast and go across the fallen ruins and past Kenneth Height. Collect all the golden runes in the graveyard and then go back past Kenneth Height. Head northeast to the Third Church of Marika. Collect the Physic, the Crimson Crystal tier, and the Sacred tier. Activate the Site of Grace here, then mount Torrent and jump through the north window. Go up the hill north of the church and jump in the Spirit Spring. Go behind the wolves and jump up another Spirit Spring so you land on the western cliff. Ride west into the Summonwater Village ruins on your right. In this first building, you'll find a sealed basement. Use your Stone Sword key to go down and open a chest to obtain the Green Turtle Talisman. Equip this as your talisman to recover stamina more quickly while blocking with your shield. South of this building, go down the slope to find another graveyard full of golden runes. Collect them all and fast travel back to the Third Church Site of Grace. Ride south into the Mistwood. Kill this boar. Grab the map near the tree-scratching rune bear. And then ride uphill to the east to obtain the Greenspill Crystal tier and the Spike Crack tier. Ride southwest back to the road and ride south. Stop by the Mistwood Ruins to grab these items and the Axe Talisman in the cellar below the Sleeping Rune Bear. You'll enjoy using this talisman later when you get more pouches. Follow the road up to Fort Height. Avoid the demi-humans and soldiers and collect the golden seed near the little tree. Turn and ride west over to the low cliff. Drop off, find the Fort Haight West Site of Grace and activate it. Ride west to find another graveyard guarded by wolves. Kill the first wolf and collect all the golden runes before the other wolves converge on you. Ride up the hill to the west and then go up the road. Approach this Spirit Spring from the right and turn left to jump. This will pitch you on top of a hill. Ride north to find a golden rune 2 near the soldiers, then continue north and activate the Agheel Lake South Site of Grace. Ride south past the soldiers and the Forlorn Hound Ever Jail. Reaching the cliffs, carefully drop down to reach the Spirit Spring and then use it to cross the gap to the Weeping Peninsula. Jump up the rocks to the left and activate the Bridge of Sacrifice Site of Grace. Ride Torrent onto the Bridge of Sacrifice and quickly collect the Stone Sword key and the 3 Smithing Stone 1s held by this corpse. Quickly ride south back to the Site of Grace and rest. You now have all the smithing stones you need to upgrade the halberd to +3. Fast travel back to the Church of Ella and sell all your runes to Kale. Then use the smithing table to upgrade your weapon. Level up your vigor and strength evenly, splitting points between the two. Fast travel back to the Bridge of Sacrifice and ride south. Continue south to find a wrecked carriage. Kill the dog on the road and quickly collect the Morning Star from the open chest. Collect more items as you escape to the south. Activate the Castlemorn Ramparts Site of Grace. Then use the Spirit Spring to the east to jump into the top of the tower and find the Great Turtle Shell. This shield has the Barricade Shield Ash of War, so equip it. Fast travel back to the Castle Morn Ramparts site of Grace, make sure it's daytime, and then ride south through the hole in the wall. Ascend the ridge on the right, ride it down to this point, and then double jump over the rocks to find a golden seed. Drop off the cliffs and ride north to find the map. Continue riding north back to the site of Grace to avoid getting shot by the stone golem near Castle Morn. Use the site of Grace to upgrade your flasks to 7 total. Don't forget to prep your physic with the Strength Knot tier and the Greenspill Crystal tier. Ride south to Castle Morn and kill the stone golem. Then head east and collect a Somber Smithing Stone 2 guarded by Spirit Jellyfish. Enter Castle Morn, ride the elevator, and run to the back of the courtyard. Climb the ladder, run past the misbegotten enemies, drop down, run through the fighting enemies, and up the stairs. Find Edgar, activate your physic and Warcry, then hit him with a fully charged attack.
I haven't a clue what's got into you, but as lord of this castle, I will stand for it no longer.
Block his attacks with Barricade Shield. He's not too difficult and drops the Banished Knight's Halberd +8. Now let's prepare for the Tree Sentinel. Fast travel back to the Third Church of Marika, find the portal hidden just north of the church, and teleport to the Bestial Sanctum in Caelid. Ride Torrent south to find another golden seed and activate the Farm Great Bridge site of Grace. Ride south across the bridge, past the dragon, and jump up the rot on the left wall. Collect all the golden runes in the graveyard and then drop over the cliff where you find the Spirit Spring. Activate the Lenny's Rise site of Grace and rest. Melina will offer to take you to the Round Table Hold, but decline for now. Pass time until nightfall and then ride north to the bridge and slap the Knight's Cavalry on the butt. Use the root growing at the north end of the bridge to cheese the Knight's Cavalry into jumping off the cliff. It's extremely easy. He drops the Bloodhound Step, but more importantly, 42,000 runes. Use the Spirit Spring and ride southwest to the Minor Erdtree. Find another Spirit Spring behind it and jump up to the level of Fort Feroth. Ride over to the fort and activate the Site of Grace. Equip the Morning Star and the Gold Pickled Foul Foot and go to the leg of Elder Dragon Grail. Attack the dragon with the Morning Star to proc bleed effect and take down its HP quickly. Use your physic to activate the Greenspill Crystal tier and kill Grail faster. Pop a Gold Pickled Foul Foot just before she dies to get another 30% on top of the 50,000 she drops and the 3,470 runes dropped by the 5 lesser dragons around her. You should get about 99,000 runes. Return to the Site of Grace and go to Round Table Hold. Buy the Knight Armor set from the Twin Maiden Husks at Round Table. The total cost is 13,500, so this is optional. But this armor instantly raises your poise to 51 and really completes the look. Visit the Site of Grace in the Round Table. Add 1 point to Dexterity, raise Strength to 30, raise Faith to 15, add the remaining points to Vigor. Add Warcry to the Banished Knight's Halberd with a heavy affinity, and equip it. Time to get another flash charge. Fast travel back to Stormhill Shack and ride north under the Great Bridge to Liurnia. Stop at the lake-facing cliff Site of Grace and rest. Then fast travel back to the Stormhill Shack and Rodrika will be gone. You'll find a golden seed. Rest at the Site of Grace here to upgrade your flasks. Fast travel back to the first step. Pop your physic, activate Warcry, ride Torrent, and kill the Tree Sentinel to collect the Golden Halberd. Return to the smithing table and upgrade the golden halberd to +2 if you can. This early game knight build is now complete. The total time to assemble it was just under 55 minutes. You should be able to take out all the bosses in Limgrave easily, including Margit and Godric. However, there's some ways to improve the build. Fast travel back to the Castlemorn Rampart, pass time until night, kill the Knight's Cavalry to get the Barricade Shield, Ash of War. This way you can use this skill with a better shield than the Great Turtle Shell. Fast travel back to the First Step Site of Grace. Turn around and go behind the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave to the left. Approach the broken pillar at the ledge. Look down over the cliff and see a small ledge below. Carefully drop down to the ledge using Torrent's double jump and find a corpse holding 2 silver pickled foul feet. Go to the gatefront ruins, pop a silver pickled foul foot, and kill the 4 enemies holding the brass shields until one of them drops it. If none of them drop the shield, ride back to the gatefront Site of Grace and reset. If you need more silver pickled foul feet, they are hard to find, but you can craft them if you have the Missionary's Cookbook 3. Find this item inside the smoldering church at the northeastern edge of Limgrave, guarded by Anastasia, Tarnished Eater. A knight has an easy time defeating her. With the cookbook, you need Roa fruit, found everywhere in Limgrave, and foretold foul feet, which you can farm from the black and white birds hanging out on the beach northwest of the coastal cave. You also need silver fireflies, which you can pick up free inside the Groveside Cave, just northwest of Calais. The brass shield is the best medium shield in the early game because it blocks 100% of damage with enough stamina, and its guard boost is higher. Infuse it with Barricade Shield and upgrade it to +25 to raise its guard boost to 75. This score is subtracted from stamina consumed each time you block an attack. Barricade Shield further cuts your stamina cost by 50% when blocking. The Great Turtle Shell only blocks 94% of damage and only gets up to 67 guard boost at +25. Grab the Flame Grant Me Strength incantation from behind Fort Gael. This incantation requires 15 faith. To cast it, return to the Round Table Hold and buy the Finger Seal from the Maidens for 800 runes. Go to Liurnia via the side route, ride north past Raya Lucaria and follow the northeast bridge to its base. Find a corpse in a chair holding Somber Smithing Stone 3. From there, ride northwest and then north to find another corpse in a chair holding a Somber Smithing Stone 4. Fast travel back to the First Step and ride east to the Dragonburnt Ruins. Descend into the center chamber and use the teleporter trap to go to Celia Crystal Tunnel. Escape from the tunnel, ride southwest and then north up the ravine to find a Somber Smithing Stone 5 on a body lying against the cluster of crystals. You can get all these upgrades before fighting Margit.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished.
After Margit, you'll get a talisman pouch. This lets you equip a second talisman. You can find the perfect talisman in Stormvale Castle. The curved sword talisman is in the dark trap room with the banished knight. After defeating Godric, use the walking mausoleum in the Weeping Peninsula to duplicate his remembrance and then sell both to Hugh for 40,000 runes. Now you can buy the full knight armor set or level up endurance and strength even higher. At endurance level 24, your load drops to medium and you can stop fat rolling. You'll eventually have to raise endurance to 26 as you add more talismans. Here's your target stats at level 150. Target vigor is 60, mind 20 so you can cast Barricade Shield frequently, endurance 26, strength 73, and faith at 20 since the Golden Halberd technically does some holy damage but scales better with strength. The best talismans are the Curved Sword Talisman, Great Shield Talisman, Axe Talisman, and Dagger Talisman, increasing the power of every kind of attack you can do, as well as reducing stamina consumed while blocking. I hope you enjoy using this build to tank your way through Elden Ring. Please leave a like to share this video and subscribe for more Elden Ring content on Double Back for Ammo.